Coming at you from the Steel City, you're listening to Poor Man's Podcast, Pittsburgh's premier comedy podcast. Your weekly dose of humor, hosted by Chris Hopper and with a new special guest each week. And here's your host, Chris Hopper.
Woo! Woo!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Poor Man's Podcast. I'm your host, Chris. Along with me, as always this week, I guess, is the wonderful. We were making fun of this last week with Shay. Is the wonderful, is the talented, is the beautiful Danny Kaufman.
Hi.
Danny, how are you tonight?
I am great. I live for that introduction.
Good. I'm
Like,
glad.
I want it to be like my alarm in the morning. Like, I want to manifest it each day.
That's the way to do it. I was
forward to it.
reading something. Apparently, millionaire. It was millionaire like mindset or some bullshit thing. When you wake up in the morning, you're supposed to, get up. You're not supposed to hit snooze. You get up, do your thing. You're supposed to high five yourself in the mirror in the morning.
I won't be doing that.
Well,
but we can record that intro, and I'll use that as my inspiration for
Danny,
the day.
I plan on inspiring you every day, and somebody else who inspires me every day. We have from Bellevue, especially, but I don't know why especially. We have Jeremy Tiroff, baby.
Hi.
Jeremy, how are you today?
Good. I high-fived myself in the mirror today, so I'm doing great.
Yeah, that's the way to start it, man.
Yeah.
You look like $1 million, so maybe there's something to it.
Yeah.
Jeremy, how are you tonight?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me on to talk one more time about Rhythm and Brews.
It's very exciting to have you on. We were talking, Dan and Scott were on Pittsburgh Today Live, so you must have won the lottery today to come on Poor Man's Podcast.
I was saying,
man.
listen, I keep it real.
Yeah.
You know, I was like,
You're like dancing no, man.
Yeah. I don't fuck around.
You had a lot of inspirational quotes today.
I know. I wish we had actually. You know what? I'm just gonna roll with it. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep that going.
Okay.
You know? I'm gonna get a little dark, maybe. So,
Oh.
All right. You need a balance.
yeah.
You
It'll
need
be
the
good.
yin and the yang. You want to appreciate the bad without the, you want to appreciate the good without the bad. You know, Danny? You know?
I know.
And you know what that makes me think of? We are here at 565 Live tonight because it's the good, man. It's the good.
It's the good.
The other good, we have Georgia Warder on tonight.
So good.
She just won the roast battle again,
What?
I believe, right? Georgia, you won twice, right? Yeah, at least twice so far. Twice so far.
Wait,
Okay?
is that like
God.
not to diminish that, but is that like White People 8 Mile? It's cool. I want to hear all
She
about
nod her
that.
head yes.
G Rabbit over there. Yeah.
Shit talk each other. That's awesome.
I love a roast, and I unfortunately I work on Fridays all the time, but I've loved to stop by. I feel like I wouldn't be good at it, but I'm interested to talk to Georgia about it, who apparently is a beast, Danny.
Two-time champ,
Two-time
right?
champ. Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Let's hit this rundown bell. We are here at 565 Live. Stop down on Thursdays for comedy every other week. In the in-between week, I think they have live jazz or something. So, yeah, comedy and jazz.
Gotta have a balance of jazz and comedy.
Absolutely, man.
Good and bad.
We got to get Johnny T down here every Thursday. Maybe we'll talk to him about that. Friday and Saturday, there's live music. Stop down, check out outside. They have the cabana out there now. It looks like they're building something, so maybe it'll be ready to go for this Saturday for Rhythm and Brews.
I hope so.
I hope so too, Danny. We'll find out. Opening thoughts. We have beer of the week. Jeremy brought some beers in, as he always does. They're from breweries that will be featured at Rhythm and Brews this Saturday, August 19th, from 4 to 9. Second half, like I just said with Georgia. I have a little game we're going to play in the second half. If you're watching on YouTube, you can find at the bottom we have that IKEA logo. We're going to play an IKEA game in the second half, and that's all I'm going to tease, Danny. You got to listen.
All right.
You got to listen, man. And everybody's favorite segment in the second half,
It's the vibe.
we have the new news with Danny Kaufman. And Danny's back.
I'm back.
Danny, I'm so excited to have you back.
I've missed you guys. I've missed being here.
Well-
So I'm excited to deliver the news stories.
Well, we're excited to have you back. Next week, we're going to release the Rhythm and Brews podcast. So we're going to record live from Rhythm and Brews on the 19th. So stop down for that if you haven't already bought your tickets. But like I said, we're going to talk about that more in depth in a minute. stop down and see us there. What else do I have down here? We have the garbage truck. I have
Why?
I have the one chip challenge, and I have IKEA. Although I already talked about IKEA. Now my issue with the garbage, and I want to just touch on this briefly, and then we'll get into the more important things.
I'm ready.
Although I don't know that there's anything more important than this right now. Now, Jeremy, my garbage guys, I have some issues with them just because they like to drop kick my garbage cans down the hill and throw them wherever they can. Like they're Avengers. But
They must like you.
The newest thing is they have to have a plastic bag on it, because there used to be, I would throw some things in. There was some big, like a box or something. I'd throw one in, or an empty gallon, or like whatever the fuck it is. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
I'd throw it out, but it had to be inside a plastic box, regardless of what, or a plastic bag, regardless of what it was. I stopped at Get-Go the other morning, and at Get-Go they use paper bags. Okay, so I had whatever, and I had that in my car. Jeremy and I were talking about basically living out of our car earlier. I would say 60% of my meals per week come from a gas station. Okay, so I had this paper bag still in my car, and I had garbage in it. I get out, get home, I throw it in my garbage can. The garbage men picked through. They pulled out all the garbage bag and left the paper bag one in there, man, which I feel like is a personal attack. Also, so I need to put it in a plastic bag, so I need to waste more. It's in a paper bag, man. So I need to put it in a plastic bag first.
I'm so
secondly,
confused.
and a double bag it.
The weird thing, though,
No.
is the paper bags are biodegradable, and the plastic isn't.
Right.
Right.
Like, why wouldn't you just be like, oh, that's even better?
It would be. But
Take it because it's
they
still
already
trash.
told me plastic, and I don't have any other where to go. What? You're going to get a different garbage company? Nope. Fuck you.
Yeah, well,
That's
maybe
what
they
it
just
is.
don't want to get dirty.
What happened to picking up the garbage can and throwing it in there, man? If you don't want to get dirty, you're picking the wrong job.
Why are we sifting?
I
Why are we
have no
doing that?
issue with the garbage. I think they're doing a great job.
Right.
I feel like it's a personal attack to sift through it and pull out the paper bag, though, right?
Are you being investigated for anything?
No, I don't
Okay,
think so.
I just thought I'd ask.
I wouldn't put any paraphernalia in a paper bag, man. I burn it or
making
flush
sure.
it, man.
Just checking all the boxes
I
off
don't
here.
know, man.
That's weird.
I don't like it.
understand
So
that.
I woke up in a shitty mood because I went in and I saw that. So I put it in a plastic bag and I got a Sharpie and I wrote about how scary paper can be because I was very upset. This was like 8:30 Saturday morning. I'm just like shaking, or Friday morning. But you know what, Dandy? We'll see if they take it this week. If they take it this week, I'm gonna do an experiment. I'm gonna do a social experiment. I'm gonna keep putting out paper bags occasionally, and we're gonna see what happens.
I can't wait
because
to
it's
hear
a
all
slow
about this.
crow season.
I'm thinking leaving a note is definitely going to help.
It's one of those things where it's like, how douchey do you want to be at your own house?
Yeah.
You know,
Here's how
people
you
know where
fix
you
all
live
that.
there.
The week of Christmas,
Yeah.
go out, hand them $20 and say Merry Christmas.
I have no issue with them. Other than the passive aggressiveness, I appreciate it.
A little passive.
And yeah,
Yeah.
Hey, man, I work in the service industry. I love throwing around money, probably more than I should. I'd love to, but the passive aggressiveness, Danny,
I get it.
I don't
get
like
it.
it, man. I feel like it's a personal attack.
It may be. We're still investigating.
Let's find out. Jeremy, how do you feel about spicy things?
I love spicy things.
No,
I had India. Oh, wait. Are you defining spicy things for me?
no.
Okay. I had Indian
Webster
Masala
Merriam.
House for lunch today, right here in Bellevue.
Oh, okay.
Dude, fantastic food. And it's funny because I go in there and they'll go like 1 through 5, and I'm like, 4.5, and they like double check. They're like, "Are you sure, white guy?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'm good."
They
you
did the
know?
same thing to me when I went to Bird on the Run in Homewood, man. I went in there and they're like, "You sure you want hot as fuck?" Yes.
Yes,
Yes, I do.
The hotter the
I'll
better.
regret it later, maybe, but maybe
I'm
I
not
won't.
worried about my intestines or my butthole. I'm
Well-
worried about the taste going down.
That's a
Whatever
perfect
happens
segue.
after.
That's a perfect segue. If you're not worried about the taste or your butthole, we have
Words to
the
live by.
See, I told you, pearls of wisdom.
yeah,
Yeah.
man. We have the one chip challenge, and I found this. I guess it's on YouTube and things. My kids watch YouTube, and I saw it, and mostly it's stupid things, but this one seemed interesting.
Did you acquire one
So
yet?
apparently it's the hottest chip, and it's super difficult to eat. There's like a warning label on it. It says like how long can you take before you eat some other food or drink. So they have like 1 minute, they have 10 minutes, 30 minutes. Can you go an hour without taking anything? So apparently this is extremely hot. It's not on the Scoville scale, but for people to know, it's it uses Carolina Reaper peppers, and it uses the Naga Viper peppers, which are both between 1.7 million on the Scoville scale and 1.4 million. So for you to understand, Danny, or whoever's listening.
I had questions.
Yeah, I feel like it wasn't a personal attack. Most people probably don't know the ins and the outs of the Scoville scale, man.
You would have put it in a brown paper bag, maybe.
Maybe if we said how Guy Fieri would rank the peppers, we would understand it. Yeah,
Yes.
maybe. Okay, I'll work on that, Danny. It's my fault. I'll take that one.
Okay,
But
thank you.
roughly, a sweet bell pepper is a 0.
Okay.
You have a jalapeno, pretty basic one.
Okay.
That's between 2,000 and 8,000 Scoville, depending on the pepper. Tabasco, you take some Tabasco sauce, that's like 30,000 to 50,000. Habanero is 100,000 to 350,000.
Ooh.
Ghost pepper is at 1 million. So we're talking both of these are between 1.4 million and 1.7. So that's pretty hot.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Pepper spray is 2 million to 5 million. So it's slightly less than pepper spray.
What?
And then the hottest thing on there is pure capsaicin. I don't know if you. I guess it's like one of the chemical things they get from peppers. But that's if you get like the pure super concentrated, it's 15 million, and that was the highest on there. So. I mean, it sounds pretty hot. I've watched people eat it. They started sweating, which makes me think we need to do it on this show, Danny. So I need to find a guest who will be willing to do it with me.
Are we issuing an open challenge?
We're issuing an open challenge. Anybody out there who would like to do it with me on the show, we will be glad to have on.
Oh my
I'll
gosh.
do it.
That's why I have you right here, Jeremy.
Please tell me it's under the chair. Please tell me.
It's not here, but I did. Dude, they're really $10. I'm gonna get a couple, man. Maybe I'll take them to work and mix them in with my chips, and we'll see if anybody steals my food, man. They'll learn the hard way.
I've seen those same videos. My neighbor did one.
Yeah.
And was like dying.
Yeah.
Like dying immediately.
Perfect.
I had a roommate that got pepper sprayed once upon a time, and he just threw up all over his room. He was crying and pouring milk into his eyes.
That's
and
perfect.
shit,
So according to them, if you make it 1 minute without milk, you're harmless. Okay? You make it 10 minutes, you're a slitherer. Okay,
slitherer?
A slitherer.
Ew.
So you go from harmless to slitherer. This is kind of the gangster to out of bounds, I guess.
All right,
if you
what's
will.
after slitherer?
After slitherer, you have 30 minutes at venomous. Okay.
Okay.
You like to be venomous. That's cool.
That's- yeah.
If you're gonna make it 30, you might as well push it to 60 at that point.
Right.
Please tell me
60 is the
60
highest.
minutes is Cobra Commander.
It is Apex Predator.
No. I hate that whole scale.
Should you put it on a G.I. Joe scale? like your Destro and then your Cobra Commander or something.
Yeah.
Get your own.
I hate that.
There we go, Danny. So I'm gonna get a couple, and if Jeremy wants to come back on, we'll find a day in the next probably month or so,
Okay.
and we'll eat them, and we'll see how it goes. Maybe we'll have a second half. Maybe we won't. We're gonna need you to be on your game that episode. That's why I'm bringing it up, Danny.
All right, I'm ready.
And the last thing I have on here, you see IKEA again. Well, I teased it a little bit, but we're gonna be reading some IKEA names based on the version you see in the magazine, and we're gonna have to guess what it is based on the where are they from? Sweden?
Yeah,
think
Switzerland.
so.
Is it Sweden? It's Sweden. It's
Yeah,
Sweden.
they have Swedish meatballs, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like they have to be all Sweden, right?
I feel like, yeah.
I'm a big fan of IKEA, but we'll go in on that later.
Side note, the same neighbor that ate the chips, her husband works at IKEA. So
Oh.
I'm like really invested in this whole
Okay.
episode now.
Should we have him on too? We'll find out, maybe.
It's a vibe.
I agree, Danny. Let's see. That was all the super important things I had to talk about. Danny,
Yes.
you have a couple beers. I have a couple beers.
Yes.
Jeremy has a couple beers. Like I said, our next episode will be live from Bellevue's Rhythm and Brews. So let's try a little bit of these. And Jeremy is going to talk a little bit about Rhythm and Brews.
If I get drunk, well, I'll pass out on the floor now, baby. You won't bother me no more.
I need a beer. I need a beer.
If you're drinking, well, you know that you're my friend, and I'll say, I think I have myself a beer.
I need a beer. I need a beer.
The beers of the week from Jeremy Tearoff. Jeremy, what do we have this week?
We have a whole collection of stuff. So in the process of doing this, I've already had my 2, and I'm opening my 3rd.
Perfect.
Yay.
Yeah, well, I'm the beer guy, right?
You
So-
need to do your due diligence. I
So-
appreciate it.
Yeah. So the first one I had was Brew Gentleman Bloodlight Lime. And Brew Gentleman is awesome. They've actually probably become my favorite brewery. They were the one the last time I was here. They had their deep breakfast beer, which was that like milk chocolate stout thing. And it was a full 4 stars, like Flavortown. And they've been around a really long time. And what's funny is we go to a lot of the other breweries putting up the posters and stuff. And they're like, you got BG? Yeah, man. They're like a big score. So they're going to be pouring at Tavern Pizza during the Rhythm and Brews Brewery Festival. And you guys are going to be
I was going to say,
Tavern Pizza
we
as well,
can't recommend them enough. So definitely stop down at Tavern Pizza.
Oh, they're awesome.
Man.
They're awesome. So the Bloodlight Lime is an American IPA made with blood orange and lime. And this is a shut the front door.
Oh, okay.
It was really close to Flavortown, but when you say blood orange, I want a lot of blood orange.
Yeah.
And they went mild with their approach. So, but it's excellent, and it's only 6%, and it's one of those ones because it's 6% and it's really easy to sip. You're gonna go blind by accident. So it's really good. And then
I'm sorry. Did you? What is it? It's a blood orange?
And lime.
it is blood orange and lime.
But
IPA.
what's the stuff? IPA.
Yeah. It's a Bloodlight Lime. And then I picked up from Penn Brewery their hazy IPA as well.
That's a good one.
Yeah. That's a shut the front door as well. It's not overly hoppy and it's not overly citrusy. It's actually like a really good blend of both.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Penn Brewery. Stefan Nitsch is a really good friend of mine, and he actually bought the brewery. And he's doing a lot of cool things to update that. Like they've done various can releases. They had a Chico de Mayo, which was like a habanero stout.
Okay.
Dude, it was awesome.
Ooh.
That was full on Flavortown and like then some. And it was like
Welcome to
9%. And they just did Steffi's Bloody.
I saw ads for that.
Yeah, it's him. So that's
That's the right
owner.
amount of blood you want in your blood orange.
Right. Yes,
Yeah,
there you go.
It looked American Psycho-y.
Yeah, well, yeah. It was very Andrew WK mixed with American Psycho.
I was ready to party hard.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Oh, dude. And Stefan's awesome. That's him on the label, and it's like you mix the Bloody Mary mix with their Penn Dark, and they created this thing.
Oh,
It was
okay.
like sold in 4-packs with 2 cans of the Bloody Mary and 2 cans of the Penn
Yeah.
Dark to mix. And Stefan's actually a Bellevue resident.
Oh, okay.
And he took over the brewery. They're doing a lot of cool stuff. And what's awesome is they're going to be there this year, too. They're pouring an 1867 Tattoo. And he was teasing a big announcement last year on, like, social media. And I was like, I have a feeling. And I messaged him, and he's like, I can't tell you yet. And then as soon as he did, I was like, congratulations. And his first questions was like, we're going to be on Rhythm and Brews next year. I was like, hell yeah, dude. Like, absolutely. So we're excited.
That's good
to have
that's the immediate reaction.
Oh, yeah.
He
Yeah.
bought it to be part of the festival.
Oh, that's exactly why he spent all that money to buy a brewery, was so he could just be at our festival. Absolutely.
You could have just bought a ticket, but yeah, I like the way that he handled that.
He's
Especially at
serious.
1867, that's a pretty good stop too.
1867 is awesome. James Roberts owns 1867. James is not just my tattoo artist with all my work and whatever. He's Dan's artist, so Dan does the brewery festival with us too. And James is just fantastic. He's a Bellevue resident as well, and he's not just our artist, but like he's the nicest guy. And he's a sweet human being, and I just love the guy to death. So he's a really good friend too. Yeah. And they're actually one of our sponsors for the brewery festival too. You get a lanyard with your basically passport thing you get crossed off
Yeah.
with beers. And he's one of the sponsors of the lanyard. So everybody's going to have a lanyard with all their information for 1867 Tattoo. So if you want to get a good tattoo, go see James.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
So Jeremy, let everybody know, because like I was saying, we're going to be there. We're going to be podcasting from there. So essentially our guest next week is Bellevue. Is Rhythm and Brews and the people from there and the brewers. I would love to talk to a bunch of these breweries. We did that last year, and we talked to some other people in the area. What are some of the other breweries for people who don't know, and what is everything they can expect when they buy a ticket?
Okay. So first off, your podcast last year from there
Yes.
was awesome.
Thank you.
Like it was great because you had people that were just guests there, and then you had like people from the breweries, you had people from the businesses.
That one's pretty sick.
That's Grant right
Grant
there.
stopped by. And Grant's the fucking best.
Yeah.
Like we love them so much. So the breweries we have, I mentioned Brew Gentleman, I mentioned Penn Brewery. We also have Dancing Gnome is a big name. They're going to be at the
They don't
Closet.
fuck around.
No,
They
Dancing
don't.
Gnome does not fuck around.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, yep. Grist House joined us late, and they're actually going to be right here at 565 Live.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And the full list. So we had 15 last year, 10 came back. And then we have 10 new ones, and it just kind of worked out that way. And we got a little bit different with what we were trying to do because we want a good variety, right?
Yeah.
So we have 11th Hour, Abjuration, Ultra Genius. They were with us last year. Arboretum Trail is a new addition, and their stuff is awesome. I was talking to you about that earlier. We stopped in there on a whim, just on our way to somewhere else. And they were where Couch Brewing used to be. And I lived in Blawnox before I lived in Bellevue, and Couch Brewing was a really cool spot. And we went in, and they were letting us sample stuff, and they had this habanero wheat.
Yeah.
And I don't like wheat beers. It's way low on my list. I would drink the shit out of that. Like, it's so good. It's
Where would you
perfect
put it on the
level.
Scoville scale?
On the what?
The Scoville scale. Do you think it's around, what was habanero? So what was that, Danny?
Oh.
8,000?
I think so. That sounds right.
No, but it was
100,000. I wasn't even close.
JK, LOL. I knew that.
It had a really good kick to it, but it finished really smooth because of the wheat. It was this great like blend, like that straight up would be a Flavor Town.
Yeah.
Legit.
Oh.
And I don't
Welcome
throw
to
that.
Flavor Town.
Yep, I don't throw that around lightly. Like
That's what I like about you, Jeremy, because I feel like you respect
yeah.
what Flavor Town should be.
What it truly
Well,
is.
George Carlin, I mentioned this last time too. Louis C.K. did this stand-up thing, and he was talking about how we throw around words like amazing and awesome and tremendous and whatever.
Hilarious.
Yeah, all these things that are like for basic things, and it shouldn't be that way. You know, like it's really hard to get an A+. And Arboretum Trail is like this unsung brewery that's really, really awesome. I'm glad they're coming. Ben, the dude there, is one of the nicer guys that we've met through the entire process, and like their beers kill it. They kill it. They do a really good job. So I'm excited to have them. They're going to be at Avia, the Greek restaurant. We've got Cobble House, we've got Coven Brewing, we've got Fermata back again, and those guys are awesome.
Yeah.
Fermata makes really good stuff. Full Pint is joining us this year. Goodlander is a cocktail brewery. So what's interesting with them, and they're going to be at Pace Square Sense. What's interesting with them is it's a cocktail brewery. It's not beer. They have like they make large batch like Moscow Mules, gin and juice, whatever. And they're awesome. They're also like high percentage, so get there.
You got to get one of those with the Snoop Dogs.
Yes.
The gin and juice with a Snoop Dogg on the south side.
What a pairing that
If I'm
would
not
be.
fighting and peeing in an hour, I'm doing the south side wrong.
Absolutely.
Just for those who don't know, we were talking about hot dogs, and there's Back to the Food shirt, and the Snoop Dogg was a bacon wrapped hot dog
Is that not on this podcast?
in a pretzel bun.
No,
No. We were
Good.
talking about it before.
Good.
We were talking
Okay.
about that's when we were like, man, we should have been recording all that, right? But it's
Yeah.
a bacon wrapped hot dog in a pretzel bun with 24K gold sauce and cheese sauce, and it's the best hot dog I've ever had in my entire life. And it's a Back to the Food truck, so they're closing. But anyways, back to the festival.
R.I.P.
Lincoln Avenue Brewery, obviously. They're awesome, and they're a huge
They have
part.
that jalapeno machete there.
Yeah, that
As
was
far
on.
as the pepper, as we were talking about, with a little bit of heat. Not that any of these pepper beers are like spicy. It's not like you're drinking Tabasco for anybody out there. You get a nice heat, but it's balanced.
Yeah. They poured that on Pittsburgh Today Live this morning, and it went over really well. Like it's blended where there's just enough heat.
Yeah.
Now, if you're like the person who goes into the restaurant and you're like, I'll take a 1 out of 10, like
Yeah.
you might not love it, but
Yeah.
like if you're like, and that's the point too, right? Like there's 20 breweries, you're gonna be sampling stuff. If you don't like something, okay.
Well, one of the things that I like that you said before is that you don't have every brewery pouring IPAs. You don't have them all playing ales and all pouring sours. There's a difference in beers from each stop.
We made that point last year, and we've theoretically gotten smarter about this, right? But like last year, we were like, I don't want a brewery festival that's 15 IPAs, right? Like nobody wants to do that. If you don't like IPAs, what's the fun, right?
Yeah.
So we tell all the breweries bring 2 to 4 varieties, and a lot of them are bringing 2, a lot of them are bringing 4. One of us, Two Phrase, wrote us today. Two Phrase is going to be there at the Savoy Yards, and they gave us 3 varieties. There's a Kolsch, an IPA, and a sour, and I'm like, that's perfect. Absolutely perfect, because you're covering all the bases. Like Kolsch is your regular everyday beer drinker lager kind of thing. Your IPA is your IPA, and your sour is for your people who want like a fruit-based, sweeter sort of thing with a little bite to it. So, so Two Phrases joining us as well, and they're great. Low Lev Brewing, which is in Lawrenceville. Maggie's Farm Rum is bringing their seltzers. They're going to be at the Joy and Movement Yoga Studio. And they're an exciting addition, too, because they're really cool. They do all their stuff in-house, and they do their rums in-house.
Do they do
too.
the Irish cream? Is that Maggie's Farm, or am I thinking of something else?
They do. It might be. They have a really, really interesting drink menu. Like, you go down there, it's a great vibe. Like, Craig and Hannah are a couple of the bartenders, and they're just really, really cool. You've got, like, their dogs running around. You walk in, and they do this cool thing on the wall where they ask you a question, and so they have Post-its from how people answer the question. And it's like, what is the best, like, snack chip? And my answer is absolutely the Ruffles sour cream and cheddar.
Oh, okay.
Solid choice.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I mean, come on, Doritos is basic bitch stuff, right? But like, I love Doritos. Don't get me wrong.
You like the sour cream and cheddar over the sour cream and chive.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, do you want to fight about it in the parking lot?
Something like that, maybe. Actually, now that you bring it up.
At the cabana.
Yeah, cabana fight. Mindful Brewing is joining us again. They're coming back. They're great too. And Strange Roots Strange Roots is joining us for the first time. They're in Millville, right down from Grist House. So the cool thing with them is you can go to either or and check them out.
Yeah.
Strange Roots, their name is literally Strange Roots Experimental Ales. So they do some really interesting off the wall sort of stuff. And Trace Brewing is joining us. And Trace Brewing is awesome. They're great. And
You could also go to Grist House and then go down to Strange Roots and then lose your car like me and then call the police because you think your car got stolen and it wasn't.
Never forget.
everybody should do that.
That we all learn, man. You all learn. You live and you learn. At least I got to see Gene the Werewolf. Whatever, man. We love Millville Music Festival.
Can't leave Christopher
there,
on his
man.
own.
No, but they're really cool, and one of my really good friends, Josh, is one of the managers over at Strange Roots too. So I like used D in there. I'm like, come on, man,
Yeah.
do it. And he's like, yeah. And one of the other guys that's there, he lives over in Emsworth, so he's part of the 15202.
Yeah.
So they're excited to be a part of it too.
Yeah. I feel like you need to get one of those cool, like, 202 kind of things, you know?
I'm just gonna get it tattooed on my forehead.
Yeah.
That's a better idea.
That's what normal
honestly.
people do.
Yeah,
Totally.
totally.
And get devil horns on each side. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
God.
So we still have tickets left, right?
So yeah, we've made it a point to tell everybody to buy your tickets ahead. And we learned this last year. We didn't know what to expect last year because it was our first year doing like outside breweries. They had brewery festival before us, but it was like home brewers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, there's a ton of great breweries in Pittsburgh. I mean, it's awesome here, right?
Yeah.
So we're like, let's talk to them and let's see who wants to do it. And we make it a point to treat the breweries as partners. Like a lot of them do these events and they get a stipend. It's like, here's your solid like $200 for it. And they usually end up losing that on labor and pours, but they call it advertising, right? Mm-hmm. And we're like, no, just charge us. Like discount great, it cost even better. But like we respect what you do.
Yeah.
And we want you to want to be here, you know? And when we sent out the feelers, again, 10 out of 15 came back, and the ones that didn't were basically like they're terrible at replying, or they stopped doing events because of the stipend that I'm talking about, or you know, they're actually opening a second space. Necromancer was one of those, and they're going into Greenfield, and they're awesome.
Yeah.
So everybody should check that out, and they're doing a full cafe thing. But anyways, tickets. I go all over the fucking place.
But you're talking to the right guy.
Yeah. Right. It's the ADD thing. We're good like that, right?
I'm
So-
like, I'm following everything.
Yeah.
Finally,
Rapid
some
fire.
guy.
Yeah, two of you together.
So the
Not
tickets,
staying on one boring topic.
no, go all over the place. It's awesome.
Hit them all.
Talk about peppers again.
So the festival last year, we had leading up to it, we said, buy your tickets in advance. You save money doing so. So it's $45 in advance this year, $55 day of. And last year, we like I said, we just didn't know what to expect, and we only ordered so much beer. We have to pre-order that, right? We have to tell them what to expect. There's a lot of moving parts in this. It's a whole process. We've been working on this for 4 months, and we told people this year, like last year, 2/3 of our tickets sold in the last week. And we are in the last week now. And it's a lot of people who procrastinate or see what they're doing. And they're also waiting for the weather. So the weather on Saturday, 85 degrees and sunny.
Yes.
It is going to be perfect.
Yeah.
Right? So couldn't ask for anything better. Knock on wood. Right? So those tickets last year, 2/3 of them sold in the last week. And we sold out. And people were pissed.
Yeah.
They were like messaging us like, "Oh, we were going to come down to." I'm like, "Guys, you could have bought these for 3 months now, right?" Yeah. Not only do you save money, but like you're not going to get locked out.
Yeah.
We don't know if we're going to sell out. We increased the number of tickets this year, but like we're way further ahead than we were last year. Yeah. So I'd advise anybody and everybody to buy your tickets in advance. You're not only going to save money, but look, if you show up and we're sold out, we're sold out. And like, there's no way around that. And we have to do it that way because this is volunteer run, right? Like, we're not getting paid for this. Nobody is. All that money that we're talking about for ticket sales. So Bonafide Bellevue finances the brewery festival, and what they do with that money, they don't just keep it and go like, thanks, right? They actually reinvest in the community. So we're all us drunks who are out having a good time. We're actually providing money for scholarships for kids in the schools here. We're providing food assistance help for people who need that in this community. We're helping with the farmers market. We're helping the local businesses where they give grants for like updates to their building and facades and stuff like that. This is an entirely community-based event. It's the same reason why a lot of these brewery festivals, they'll put you in a warehouse or a field and you go tent to tent and you just drink your beer, right? We don't do that. We pair the breweries with businesses. I was talking about where these places are going to be. We want you to see the local businesses here and what we have to offer and what's here, because a lot of people don't know. Like, people don't know about this space, and this space is awesome. They do comedy shows. They do live music. They do all kinds of... They do your podcast, right? They do all kinds of good stuff. They
do the podcast and they do other shit.
Right.
Well,
Podcast
exactly.
and then some other things.
Occasionally.
And but like Pittsburgh Pinball Dojo, we were talking about that last year. I remember we were talking on the podcast, and you're like, I didn't even know that existed. And I'm like, that's the point.
Yeah.
Like, we want people to see that. Savoy Yards joined us this year, and they do like improv comedy things, and they have like plays and stuff like that, and people don't know. And I'm like, hand out all your handbills.
That's one of those things like I've seen, and I was like, this could be a solid spot if anybody actually knew it existed.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And it's great. And we're going to have the breweries pouring on their stage so they can see all the seating for it and everything else too. And I'm like, hand out all your handbills. Let people know what you're doing. There's so many good businesses here, and they're small businesses. They're not corporate. Like, literally, you talk about the corporate stuff. You have a CVS, you have a Rite Aid, you have a Dollar General, the other dollar store, or whatever the fuck it is, and you have like a Papa John's and a Pizza Hut, right? But like everything else, the beautiful thing about our neighborhood and what drew us here and what draws a lot of people here is that it's incredibly walkable and it's cool as hell. And like, you can walk up and down here and all these businesses are like small family-owned local residents. It's like I said, like James at 1867 Tattoo, he's a resident. Lisa and Grant Saylor at Lincoln Avenue Brewery, lifelong residents. Like, this is, people don't know. We're like a hidden gem. Yeah. And they still fall back to what it was before. And I did that before I moved here. But now we're here and we're like, holy shit. And since 2018, since we've been here, a lot of these places I'm talking about, they've opened since then. And they haven't closed. They're still going and they're doing it. But like, we want people to find out about that stuff. And that's part of this too. It's not just a brewery festival. It really is like Bellevue, and that's when we turned it into Beerview for the day, right? And like we had so many people say we didn't even know this was here. And the Menagerie, who are super supportive of this, they were at the fundraiser for Grant. They are a sponsor for one of the music stages. They're a pour station. They love it. They're awesome there. And they even pointed out like the best day of business that they had last year was the brewery festival.
Wow.
And, you know, I mean, and hopefully people found them and then they come back.
Right.
You know, we want people to come here. I mean, you drive past on 65, it's our main throughway, and all you see is Live Worship Shop.
Yeah.
Which, like, everybody has all the old school residents have a thing for that sign, and I get it. Tradition matters, but, like, there's nothing saying, hey, there's all this other stuff up here. Well, come up here and find out about it.
Yeah.
You know, that's the point.
I agree. Before I lived here, I never knew it was. Like I said, I thought it was at Wendy's in that stretch there. And I don't hate any business more than that Wendy's. And literally every time Jeremy comes on, I talk about how much I hate that goddamn Wendy's on
You do.
65.
Yes.
I hate it so much.
I'm sorry, what?
I hate it the most. But besides that, there's so many cool places in this area that people really don't know about.
Yeah. There's Revival on Lincoln, which is fine dining, right? Which you wouldn't think of in Bellevue.
I got the best martini in my life there.
Really?
I had the best.
It was a
crab-
juicy sidecar. That was like an orange sidecar. It was the best thing I've ever had in my life.
I had the best crab cakes in my entire life there. They're phenomenal. 202 Hometown Tacos is there.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many different things that people don't realize that are here, and like where we want to continue to grow. You know, and we see that growth too. Like, you know, we have people that are now trying to move here instead of leave here. Mm-hmm. Like I work with, being a real estate agent, I work with clients all the time, and they're like, I have clients who are specifically like, we'd love to be in Bellevue. I've had a lot of people move here and they love it. I always follow up. I'm like, what do you think? Because not just because they're my clients, but like I live here too, and I want them to be happy. And they're like, it's awesome, you know. And Bellevue Beans opened, and like Wonder Bar is coming here, and I cannot wait because they're the nicest people, and they're not just bringing their second location here; they're going to live here. Like I walked them around just looking at different buildings as an option to buy, and they're like, this place seems so cool, and I'm like, it is.
Yeah,
it really is. Like, we want people to see what we have here because it's awesome. I can't imagine living anywhere else now.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I can't recommend it enough as well. Stop down for the brewery thing and the brewery fest. Not only do you get to see the businesses that we were talking about are cool, the Closet, one of my favorite shops around here, Pittsburgh Smoke Shop, both of them, Alex and Christian, awesome. I mean,
They're
even
so
Dari
nice,
Villa
too.
next to us, Rusty Nail across the street. There's a million like just old school places even that are here that you should stop and check out. But what I do want to talk about real quick is Danny, you have that Dancing in Lustra.
Yes.
I want to talk about your beer and rate it real quick.
Well, like we've said, Dancing Gnome doesn't fuck around. Lustra, 10 out of 10. I love this beer. When I was looking at the beers to choose, I was like, which one do I grab? And I'm so glad that I grabbed this. The taste of this is just, I say this every week. It's so smooth and it's so good. Like, it's a nice, like, palatable taste. Like, I love it. Honestly, I don't know if I've done this yet. I think I'm going to do it. Flavor Town.
Welcome to Flavortown.
Oh my God.
I
Welcome
really like
Welcome
it.
to Flavortown.
Oh,
Good suggestion.
man.
Yeah.
I'm glad you liked it because I
Yeah.
remember trying it before, and it's very satisfying to me because when I saw it, I was like, "You need to try that." Not
It's
to pat
good.
myself on
I
the
love
back,
it.
Danny, but
But
I
give
feel
credit
like
where it's due.
yeah.
The cool thing with that one,
Also, it matches you because it has gold like your hair and gray like your shirt.
perfect.
We love a nice aesthetic.
We got to take a picture
It's
next
the
to
Danny Lustra.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's an American pale ale too, so it's like the India pale ales are a lot more hoppy. Mm-hmm. That's less hop, and it like you said, it really is like a super smooth beer. That's their
is.
number one.
And the flavor. Oh,
Yeah,
love.
That's actually nationally recognized.
So good.
Yeah, it's
So
really good.
Thank
Really
you
good.
for bringing this. The first Flavor Town of the year, I'm pretty sure.
Congrats.
Thank
Way
you.
to go, Nancy Gnome. They don't fuck around.
They don't fuck around.
There's one thing we know. If there's one thing we've learned from this. Jeremy, you gave me this. Well, at least you brought all these in, and I picked the 11th hour Sagittarius. Now, Danny originally picked it out to be very basic.
I did.
However, I said, if it's Sagittarius, I must take it because that is my birthday. So I tried it. It is 7.5%, part of the astrology series. Let's see, experimental. So it's a single hop IPA. It's pretty solid. I like it. I like it a lot. For 7.5%, it doesn't taste like 7.5%. That's a higher one. For what this tastes like, it tastes like 6.5, if not lower than that.
Yeah, that's the dangerous beer.
Oh, it is.
It might even taste lower than that. Now that I see that it's 7.5%, it changes the way that I view it.
Right.
Based on
Absolutely.
the way. So I have that, which is a nice like turquoise. The birthstone of December as well.
And if you
Danny.
get a chance with 11 hours, so 11th Hour is a really good brewery. They do a coffee milk stout down there.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name. When we were doing the sampling videos for this, I went to every brewery to drop off the posters, and I picked up beers from every single one. I spent like, I don't know, a ridiculous amount of money on beer, because what else am I going to spend?
Yeah.
Obvi.
I mean, cracking hookers, but like,
But, you know.
so, and
That's all of them. Yeah.
That's all the
dude,
investments.
their
That
coffee,
answers that.
their
Yeah.
coffee milk stout down
Yeah.
there. I can't remember the name. It's got an owl on the label. It's really a pretty
Oh.
label. Delicious. Absolutely in the top 5 that we tried, and Dan and I both agreed on that, and we have different palates. So
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
Well, there you have that. I'm not normally one of those guys either, but you brought me a heavier one. I think it was a stout or something last time. It was pretty
was it
good.
the Penn Brewery Chocolate Meltdown?
I can't remember what it was. It was something that I totally thought I wouldn't like, and I really liked it. Maybe it was.
Yeah, you really like that one. I think you gave that a full Flavor Town, actually.
Oh shit! Well, then that's a lot for something. I must have loved that.
Yeah, that was good.
Then you also gave me this West Coast IPA, Narada.
What?
Yeah, they do weird
Narada.
names.
Narada.
It's a pretty good
Yeah.
one.
Now that you say it, it sounds way more professionally.
Well, they
Not Pittsburghy.
My favorite name from them, they have a Bach. So, of course, they named it Sebastian Bach.
Yeah.
It's like, I was like, I
It's
got to
so
buy
good.
this.
I
Obviously.
try to get that where I work. Our owner's last name Sebastian. I'm like, you gotta get Sebastian Bach. It's like, this ain't Skid Row. All right, cool, cool, man. 18 of life, baby. What? This is 7.4.
I mean, it is out of bounds.
I like the 11th hour a little bit more, but you're not going to go wrong either way. They're both quality, and you know, you've stopped down. I think it will be. Jeremy, anything else you'd like to talk about before we talk to Georgia?
So a couple of things people need to know. First off, I'm wearing the Beer View T-shirt for this year.
Love.
We had them last year, and then But what was funny was we weren't sure we could sell them, so we were putting them in an 1867 tattoo to kind of sell them on the down low. But then Hitchhiker set up outside, so nobody saw them. So then we had the fundraiser for Grant and Lisa, and we sold out of last year's Beer View shirts. And people were like, every time I wear it out to one of their things, they're like, "Where'd you get that?" And I'm like, "You can't have one." This year, we're making one exclusive every year.
Okay.
So this one was designed. We have a really great team. So it's me and Dan McKelvey, who's been on here with me, and Scott Straight, who's been on here with me, and Logan Robbins does our social media stuff. He creates our posters. He does an amazing job. That dude, he's got 2 kids under 2. He works a full-time job, and he's like killing it. He makes amazing stuff and puts us in touch with the right people. He's great. Ann Blazer is on it. She's new this year, and she's just like, she's got great ideas and everything else, and everybody works really hard on this. Logan worked along, so the V in the Beer Review is a Keystone with some hops in it, right? James Roberts did that because he was doing flash pieces at Grant's fundraiser last year. They were doing flash tattoos at 1867. So we're like, "Hey, man, can we use that?" And he's like, "Absolutely." Like, again, James is the nicest guy. And James and Logan put it into the Beer Review thing. We put the 15202 and we put the 2023. It's exclusive to this. So we have those T-shirts for sale. You can get them at bonafidebellevue.org. And they're $25 a piece. And the cool thing about these is the profits from these are actually going to Grant and Lisa Saylor to help with their build out at their second location. So again, it's something else we're trying to do for our community, businesses here, everything else. And they're wonderful people, and they bought their second location. They have everything ready to go. And then Grant had a massive heart attack and like threw a wrench into everything. And we're like, what can we do to really help with that? So all of us collectively decided that's what we were going to do. Bonafide supported us in that. So we put that together, came up with the Beer View thing. Dan came up with the Beer View name last year, and I was like, cool, put a yellow in the town around it. And then people were like, well, is that Louisiana? And we're like, nah, it's Bellevue. So, right. And
Big easy.
Yeah. So, I mean, end of the day, we have 20 great breweries coming. We have 4 different music stages, 7 bands. So we have music throughout the entire day at multiple places. You can check them out. Cool. If you don't drink or you don't want to do that, you can certainly come up and check it out. You won't get a wristband or a glass, but like, come on up and hang out. It's like a block party. It's the greatest thing.
We will judge you.
Oh, good. That's fine.
Yeah.
Because I stand behind this 1,000% because I know that we did the work. Like, this is.
You're in recovery. Why are you here, man? No, I'm kidding.
We
Stop down and check out the shops.
I feel very confident saying, like, in such a short time, this has grown into a really amazing event, and I love it so much because it's so community based. It's something entirely different from what anybody else does. So again, t-shirts are for sale, and one of the big announcements, and we're going to put up a post, so you can find us. Look up bonafidebellevue.org, or you can find us on Facebook or Instagram, Rhythm and Brews Brewery Festival. It's RHYTHM. Rhythm is really actually very hard to spell, and English is dumb. But look us up on there. Get your tickets there. If you have any questions, reach out to us. But we are actually starting registration. So you don't want to walk up to the brewery festival and like have paid for a ticket and be standing in line at 4:00, right? So we are starting registration at 3:30. So come up at 3:30. Don't come in before 3:30. We need time. We have to get situated and get our volunteers organized and get the brewery set up and everything else. I mean, this is a lot of moving parts. But come in at 3:30 and get registered, get your stuff. Pours don't start till 4, but if you really want to, you can go up to the other end where Dancing Gnome is, where Cobble House is, where Low Lev is, places like that, Ultra Genius, and like it's a whole course. So you plot your route. We have digital maps that'll be posted. All the info is going to be there. Whenever we come out to have a great time, we have some really good bands. We have 2 food trucks coming. And not just the 2 food trucks, but a lot of local places like Grill 565, Avia, Tavern Pizza, Lincoln Avenue Brewery Revival. They're all like making food for sale there too. And Indian Masala House is going to have like portable Indian food too. Like it's very cool. Oh my God, it's going to be so good. Like sitting here now after all the work, we were talking earlier and you're like, you just ready for it to be done? And I'm like, yeah, kind of. But like now, talking about it and all the different layers to what we have going on, everything that's going to be there, I'm so excited. And like it's I'm biased, but it's like the best event we do every year. We're going to kill it this year. We're going to have so many people here. And last year I walked around and I for whatever reason, alcohol probably, but I was like, are you having a good time? And they're like, everybody was like, yeah, this is great. This is great. This is great. And like, I can't wait to see Lincoln Avenue just like full of people who are smiling, who are happy, who are hanging out with their friends and doing like just having a good time right here in this place that we know and we love so much. So
it was an absolute blast last year. I can't say enough about it. Jeremy, where can everybody find tickets if they want to right now?
bonafidebellevue.org, or go to the Facebook event page for Rhythm and Brews Brewery Festival. Instagram as well. There's a link right there for tickets. Tickets are $45 in advance. I am imploring you to get them ahead of time because, again, if we sell out, we sell out. We can only accommodate so many. We're a 1 square mile town. They're expecting 1,000 people to walk in here and like hang out and do a good time. And on top of that too, sorry, I keep remembering stuff because there's so many layers. 565 Live after the fact. So Justin Sellers and Brad Root are playing the festival. They're playing out in the Cabana that night, so I will be out there.
We'll be there. I promise you, I will be there.
I'm gonna hang out with you.
Yeah. Neither of us will remember, but we'll be there.
No. I didn't remember last year. Either, but it was
I don't
fun.
either, but I've seen video though.
I can't wait.
Oh yeah.
I've seen the killers very well.
Scott did screenshots of me in the video just standing there looking like
yeah.
you fucking dude.
I don't want to see that.
I'm gonna find it. We're gonna post that. We're gonna post Jared.
Please,
It's literally
please.
my least sexy moment in my entire life, right? I'm just drunk with my hands in my pocket, my beer gut
It's so
hanging out.
good.
Oh,
It's so
bad.
good.
You
Danny,
took that video
I wanna see
actually,
it.
I think, and posted it. And he
it was-
screenshotted
Really?
it. Yeah,
maybe.
you son of a bitch.
I don't know that I
So-
took it. I thought I was in it dancing, but maybe not.
No, I think you took it and put it in your
Okay,
your
maybe.
Facebook story, and Scott was like screenshot and just threw it in my face constantly. And I'm like, bitch, you're older than me. Like I can lose weight, but you're always going to be older than me. So
Poor Man's
Good people.
Podcast, the best podcast in
Yep,
Pittsburgh.
there it is.
There's Scott right there,
Uh-huh.
man.
And
Hey,
then
I mean, he won us over with that.
Caleb Copto is playing 202 Hometown Tacos after the fact, and their outdoor space
Okay.
is so good. They have a bar out there. They have cornhole games. They have fire pits.
Oh, fun.
Oh my God, their outdoor area is the best thing they ever did. It's so awesome.
And the
they have
weather's gonna be
picnic
nice.
tables. The weather's gonna be so good. And Lincoln Avenue Brewery is staying open late. Tavern Pizza staying open late. So like you can get your drinks after the fact, continue to go, hang out in Bellevue, hang out with like the residents, discover a lot more, eat some food, have a good time. So
Absolutely, definitely stop by. We will definitely tag Jeremy and everything, or Rhythm and Brews and everything. I can't say enough about it, Danny. I'm excited for you to experience it because last year it was a blast. I can't say enough about it.
I'm excited.
We'll for sure tag Jeremy and Rhythm and Brews, like I just said. Coming up, what do we have? Courtney from Stealing
yes.
Pittsburgh has the best events this weekend. Obviously,
Rhythm and Brews.
stopped out for Rhythm and Brews
Saturday.
number one on Saturday. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then we'll have Georgia in the second half. We
All
have the
right.
new news. We have the IKEA game, Danny.
I can't wait.
I can't wait. Stupid.
LOL.
But Jeremy, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much for the beers. You always bring such
Yes,
good beers
thank
on. You have the breweries, but you pick the right beers too. You always bring such good beers. I trust your
know.
palate more than anybody.
Dancing Gnome is the only one that doesn't fuck around. So, I'm happy to be here, man. Like, sincerely, thank you for always being really supportive, and we see all the posts that you do for us. And like, you know, it's a really, really, really big deal. We put a lot of work into it, and the fact that you give us a platform to just let people know, like, I cannot ever overstate how appreciative we are of that.
Well, absolutely, Jeremy. Absolutely. We wouldn't do it if I wasn't standing behind it. And I know it's such a good time. It's such a fun time. There's beer. There's craft beer. The brewery people are always such good people.
Yeah.
More often than not, there's live music. There's just such good shops, and I know the people that run the shops are such good people. I support it because I think it genuinely is such a good time. So definitely check that out. And like I said, we'll tag you in that. Hopefully we see everybody down there. Definitely stop down. But we're going to take a quick break.